So let's talk about the series between the Nuggets and the Clippers. This is going to be a lot of fun and a great series, in my opinion. First off, Nikola Jokic, we know he's going to be the best player in this series. Now, that might not matter. The reason why that might not matter is because of the defensive side of the ball. Let's just start there with Denver. When you look at the matchups that they have to deal with for the Clippers, somebody's got to guard Kawhi Leonard. It can't be Jamal Murray. It can't be Christian Brown. It can't be Michael Porter Jr. The only guy who has the strength and the physicality to bother Kawhi is going to be Aaron Gordon. Here's the problem with that. He's one of the rim protectors. So you put him out on the perimeter. Now you have a weakness in the paint where Derrick Jones Jr. can cut to the basket. He can get lob dunks from James Harden. The spacing out there is going to open up for James Harden to drive to the paint, to run pick and roll action with Zubac. Jokic is not a good rim protector. So where Denver might struggle is you have James Harden run these pick and roll actions. You bring Jokic out to the perimeter, and you have Zubac rolling, or James Harden can attack Jokic and you try to pack the paint. He can kick it out for threes, and the Clippers have a field day with this defense. Also, Denver defensively has not been good all year long. Jamal Murray is not a great defender. Michael Porter Jr. has not been really good. Christian Brown, he's good, but he's not reliable. And also, this is a new role if we think about for Christian Brown. Yes, he was in that team from 2023, but their main defenders and guys who had more experience was KCP and Bruce Brown. I think that's going to hurt Denver in this series because now you're relying on guys who've never been in these spots before. Yes, I understand he was in the playoff run last year, but he's still a young guy. And the Clippers have the veteran leadership of Derrick Jones Jr., of Norman Powell, who's an NBA champion. You also have James Harden, who's a vet. I understand the playoff drop, but again, he's still a veteran. Kawhi Leonard, we know how he is in the playoffs. And the Clippers have different ways to attack their defense, and that's going to be problematic for Denver, because if you don't have the rim protection out there to create resistance, the Clippers are going to have a field day at scoring the basketball, of creating those mismatches. And then even Norman Powell, he can put the ball in the hole. We can score off the dribble, create for other teammates. So the Clippers have different ways to attack their defense. You look at the other side of the ball. Of course, Jokic is going to have a field day, but the problem is Jamal Murray. He struggles with physicality. He struggles with athletic wings. What do the Clippers present? They've got Derrick Jones Jr. They've got Chris Dunn out there. They've got Kawhi Leonard. They've got Nicholas Batum. They can throw different bodies at Jamal Murray. Another thing they can do is blitz Jamal Murray and make other guys around them beat them. Now, we know that Aaron Gordon is a reliable three-point shooter now, but outside of Aaron Gordon and Jokic and MPJ, can you trust Christian Brown in these moments? Can you trust a Jalen Pickett? Can you trust Russell Westbrook to knock down shots? Can you trust a guy like Julian Strawther if he's going to ever get any playing time in the series? So as you see it play out, yes, Jokic is going to get his numbers. No, people are saying that Zubac has done a good job on him. And I think he'll challenge Jokic, but I think he's going to get whatever he wants. But Jokic can average a triple-double, and the Clippers will still beat them because Jamal Murray is having a hard time scoring the basketball. That is a realistic thing. And then defensively, you could say, well, Denver, the last 3 games have looked better, but that is against what, Sacramento? And if you watch that Memphis game, Memphis was having a field day out there. They would put Jokic in situations where they would have him play off the ball on their perimeter offensive player. He would bring him out to the three-point line, or Jokic would play drop coverage, and they were getting open shots all day long. And you look at, when they had Jokic guarding somebody on an island, they would just get to the middle of the paint, shoot right over him for the mid-range or the floaters. And Memphis was having an easy time scoring baskets. They just wore down at the end of the game, and Denver did step up their defense. But you have to understand, habits are important. If you have bad habits you've developed over the course of the season, it's hard for me to believe that you're just going to turn it on in the playoffs. We haven't seen a lot of examples of that. We have a new coach come in at the end of the season. That's another factor to consider. The coaching advantage is on the Clippers side. You mean to tell me you're going to take Denver's coach who has no playoff experience, has never been in this moment, you're going to take him over Tyronn Lue? I'm not doing that. So as I look at this series, obviously the biggest X factors, and this is why I understand why people might pick Denver over Clippers, because this is a pick'em series. And if I had to look at the biggest 2 things, is Kawhi Leonard's health, and that's valid and obviously a concern. Second thing is James Harden. Now, if those aren't problems for the Clippers, they're going to win this series in 6 games, in my opinion. Because when you look at the advantages that they're going to have from coaching, from depth, from their defense, and of course, offensively, they're going to be able to match whatever Denver throws at them. The defense for Denver is not better than the Clippers defense because of the advantage they have where they can make it hard on the Jamal Murray. They're going to make other guys beat them, like a Christian Brown. They're going to make Westbrook beat them. And what happens is the Clippers could actually, pack the paint. they can dare Westbrook to shoot shots. And obviously, he's not a really good 3-point shooter. And also, you can rely on Westbrook sometimes playing out of control. That might happen. And then also, you have to look at Michael Porter Jr. If he's not knocking down shots, all of a sudden, Denver is struggling on offense. Now, again, Jokic will keep them in games because he is so good on offense. He's an unbelievable playmaker. These games are going to be really good. But the biggest separators is the Clippers being able to attack downhill to get Jokic on an island and to create those mismatches on defense. Because I don't know where Denver can go where they can actually slow down this offense. And Zubac can get you 20 points a night. Harden gets you 20. Norman Powell can get you 20, and so can Kawhi Leonard. So it's really hard to just slow them down. Also, we've seen the Clippers over the last few games. They were really impressive in Golden State. That was a hard-fought win in a game where both teams wanted to not be in the play-in spot. And the Clippers overcame Steph Curry's shooting, and they hit some big shots and got the W. Of course, when you look at the other side of the ball, when it comes to Denver's offense, I just don't see how they can be consistent enough unless Jamal Murray can figure it out. We saw last year against Minnesota how they really shut him down and contained him. Now, he did have his moments, but at the end of the day, he didn't shoot well from the field. He didn't shoot well from three because of the athleticism and physicality. And the Clippers have those same type of athletes. So I look at the coaching matchup. Toronto is going to have the edge there. You look at the best player, Jokic will be the best player. But if Kawhi is Kawhi, that's going to cancel each other out. Or might not, but it still won't really matter because if you have other guys like Zubac, James Harden, and you've got, Derrick Jones Jr., another guy out there who's going to bother Denver with athleticism and his ability to guard in the perimeter. They just have a lot of different things that they can throw at Denver. Really, when you look at playoff matchups, you have to look at which team can make the other team more uncomfortable. And to me, the Clippers are going to make Denver more uncomfortable in this series, in my opinion, because of the advantages they're going to have on offense and the perimeter defense they have at their disposal. Can this series shift in a way where Denver has the advantages? Yes. If Kawhi Leonard is unhealthy or if James Harden is not consistent, then Denver will tip the scales because I think they can overcome a bad Jamal Murray series when Nikola Jokic's going off and Kawhi Leonard's not in there, and the Clippers can't match that offensive firepower with his playmaking and his scoring. Now, again, this is going to be a fantastic series. The reason why I have it going 6 games is for those defensive reasons where Denver's going to have some issues, and I just have a hard time believing that you can just ramp it up in the playoffs when you've been building these habits over the course of the season. I think they were like 20th in defense this year. I think those habits will show up again. You can't just get rid of that. On the other side of the ball, the Clippers can throw different matchups against Murray, and I just think they don't have enough shooting to keep up with the Clippers, and the offense will be a little bit better. And defensively, I think the Clippers are just better in general because they've been top 3 in defensive rating over the last 21 games, and they're top 10 in rebounding, field goal percentage, and other things like that. And I think that will come into play in this series. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this matchup. Who do you have winning? And why do you have them winning? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.